Hey guys, I got some Carbotech brake pads in the mail today. So I figured I would go over some of the information that you can get off the box itself and then take a closer look at what comes inside. So let's take a look at them. So here we have two sets of Carbotech brake pads. We have a set of front and a set of rear 10th gen Civic brake pads. So on the actual box of the brake pads, there's actually some useful information. Right here, this stamp that says pre-bed is actually a really neat feature that Carbotech does. They actually heat cycle the pad before they send it to you, and that kind of bakes out all the gases that are in the pad, all the binding stuff. And normally that's if you've ever driven your car on track and you've smelled your brakes the first time you put a new set on, that's actually those gases coming out. So these already have that done before you get it, so you can actually go out and drive fast immediately and not have to worry about kind of losing brakes because of those gases coming out. Another thing that the Carbotech box tells you is exactly what pad it is. So this CT and this 4-digit number actually tells you exactly what the pad shape is. So the 1878, for example, is the rear 10th gen Civic pad shape. So they can basically put any compound on this shape. So you always see this number, which tells you the shape, and then this other number that tells you exactly what material the brake pad is. So in this case, XP12 is the compound, and that essentially tells you about how hot the brakes are going to get and how aggressive they're going to be. So another neat thing that Carbotech does is they actually paint the new brake pads specific colors, and that also gives you a clue in case you separate the pads from the box as to what compounds they are. So I'm going to take them out of the box and show you what the colors I have are. So as you can see, the front and rear compounds that I have are two different compounds. So the rear, for example, is a blue, and that corresponds to the XP12 compound that I use on the race car. And then the front is a purple, and that corresponds to the XP24 that I use on the race car. I also kind of cycle through, depending on some of the tracks, a couple other compounds. On the front, sometimes I'll use XP20, which is a gold color. And in the rear, sometimes I use XP10, and that's an orange color. So one thing to pay attention to whenever you're installing the rear pads is to make sure you put the right pad on the correct side. So you'll notice one pad has a spring and one pad doesn't. So the pad without the spring always goes on the outboard side of the caliper, and the one with the spring goes on the inboard. There's also a little bit different shape to the ears. So it should be obvious when you're changing the pads that these ears line up on the outside. So that's another clue. So there you have a quick look at what you get with a brand new set of Carbotech brake pads. There's a lot more that I could go into about brakes, whether it's a full-on race car like mine, a car that you're doing track days with, or even a street car. So let me know in the comments what you'd like to see, and I can try to make some more videos.